everyone. Welcome to another episode of Vinny Presents. I'm your host, Vinny from South Philly. And today we have filmmaker Jeff from Trenton. Jeff, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to be here.
It's a real pleasure. And again, folks, if you don't know, we have an amazing uh, bunch of things to talk about. I mean, you have a new film out. Jeff Stewart's amazing. And I'm doing a little bit of your profile and your background. And it just so happens you went to a place in my neck of the woods, Temple University.
Yeah. Like in my bio, I like to tell everyone that I am a two film school dropout. So I dropped out of NYU, and then I dropped out of Temple. So two very prestigious film schools um, that were not good fits for me, but
They,
excellent schools.
they couldn't handle you, Jeff. I mean, you had too much talent.
I was too future for them. That's how that works.
Quick heads up to anybody watching, make sure you check out the description box where you will find the links to Jeff. Make sure you're taking care of doing your due diligence and watching and supporting Jeff and all his works. Now let's get into it. Jeff, tell us about yourself.
Uh, well, I am a independent filmmaker based out of Trenton, New Jersey. I've been doing this for X amount of years because if I give you the amount of time I've been doing this, it'll give away my age. Uh, and like I said, Temple, NYU. I work in commercial. I work in narrative. I work in music video. Uh, so I wear a lot of hats, a lot of different mediums. I just love making movies and like telling stories with pretty pictures. So that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah, and I share that love, my friend. I'm actually we're working on a screenplay ourselves here with the mob comedy we're going to be doing next year. But besides me, let's talk more about you. So, what got you intrigued? It sounds like you started at an early age. Did I read it right? You were 2 years old with a camera in your hand.
Yeah. My father, let me hold his still camera and his video camera uh when I was 2 years old, just to kind of shut me up and whatever like that. And I just kind of attached to it. So I would go around, sneak around, take pictures of people, video people. Uh, take my toys and make little plays out of them and stuff like that. Some real Spielberg stuff, like how he used to do it. And yeah, so you will rarely see me out in the world without some sort of image capturing device. It just it feels right to me to have a camera in my hand.
Well, I've noticed that many big filmmakers start out very young with that same sort of story where they're playing around with cameras or maybe projectors, and it's just I think it's a calling. I really do. I think these things just they're kind of like in you at birth, and then they come out if you pursue it anyway.
Right. I think like a lot of filmmakers, uh, they get into it because it is a way of interacting with the world and talking to the world without actually having to interact. Like if you have this device in between you, uh, it's easier to start a conversation or to open up to people or get people to open up to you because you've got a camera. So I think that's how a lot of filmmakers start, is just by using the medium to tell people who they are.
I absolutely agree, and a lot of people have creativity, and sometimes they don't know how to express that, and they just don't really. And unfortunately, they some people never do. You get caught up with the 9 to 5, but if you could pursue something like yourself in filmmaking, that's a great way to really get. It's almost like a nagging urge to get that creativity out. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, 100%. And like I'm not knocking anyone who has a 9 to 5. I worked a 9 to 5, um and I did this on the side up until the pandemic. Honestly, I had a lot of success doing this on the side, and then when the pandemic hit, I was like, why am I selling my soul? Like I had faith in myself, and so I jumped in and haven't looked back.
Yeah, and let me be clear. Thank God for the 9 to 5.
Oh yeah, oh definitely. One of
Thank God for it. God bless you guys out there. I'm part of that racket too. But it's important to note too that you said something right there that this generation maybe, or we've all been thinking about this. Like, geez, we get caught up in this hamster wheel of work, 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 paying bills, and you get that occasional weekend where you could take your family to the shore or something. But it's a tough thing to accept.
right. I had a friend once refer to it as the golden handcuffs. Like, yeah, you're taken care of, but you're still like locked up. Um, and like I said, I'm not knocking that because my 9 to 5 up until pandemic was how I afforded to do my side projects. I like how I afforded to be creative.
And that's true in every industry. If you're trying to break out and sort of be a independent person, it's important to start that little side thing until that grows. You plant that little seed until it takes off and grows.
Right, 100%, 100%. Like, um, have your safety net, build your confidence, build your skill set, and then when you're ready, you know, do it. If you can, and you won't look back. But like I said, I'm not knocking a 9 to 5. I was I was on the train every day for about 15 years, so I get it.
But Jeff, you had a dream. You had a dream, and you
Yeah.
put the wheels in motion. Right? Tell us about that journey from concept to where you're at right now.
Like I said, I was doing this on the on the side, and I had some success. Like I made a movie for Amazon, in the early like 2010s. Uh, when they had before they had Amazon Prime Video, they had Amazon Studios, and it was user sourced content. So my buddy Chris and I, we pitched them an idea for a horror comedy called The Velvet Elvis, about a black Elvis impersonator who hunted demons. And you know, they gave us a nice size budget, about 50K, to make this movie. And that's when we started to realize, like, okay, we're kind of good at this. We're not just messing around on the weekends making shorts and stuff like that. And so it kind of escalated from there.
And as anybody knows in the business, films look a lot easier than they are to make. They are very difficult. There's a lot of moving parts. There's scheduling, budget, weather, you name it.
Yeah, I always say everybody wants to make a movie until it's time to make a movie. It is a lot of work. We're talking, we talked about the 9 to 5. When you're making a film, you're pulling in 16-hour days, 18-hour days. Um, but it's exhilarating. It's fun. You get to play pretend.
Just don't tell SAG that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, yeah. Yes. Shh.
It's just you and me talking.
Right.
Um,
Uh,
so, and I've been on multiple sets. I've
mhm.
done stuff in front of and behind the camera. And the one thing I can say that I really enjoy about being in either role, either behind or in front, is uh, everyone there has a passion for what they're doing. Whether it's the gaffer, whether it's the actor, the director, the person, just the PA. Everyone has a passion for it. It's such a lovely, really lovely thing to be around.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to be, because despite what you see on like the red carpets and stuff like that, and your behind the scenes videos on HBO Max, you're not getting rich off this. You can make a living, definitely 100%, but a lot of it is you have to have like a love for what you're doing. You have to have a love for sound, if you're the sound designer, or lighting if you're the gaffer, or even engineering if you're like part of the crew, like G&E, making you know figuring out ways to suspend lights and everything like that. So you really do have to have a passion for it. And just like anything, if you have a passion for something and you throw yourself into it, you can make a really decent living out of it.
No doubt, no doubt. And so, When you mentioned Amazon back then, it was Studio Amazon Studios. Now, how
Right.
did you hook up with them?
Uh, it was honestly, it was just they had put out a notice for this contest where they're like, "Hey, we're taking pitches, and if we like your pitch, we'll give you money to make a test film." And it was literally, uh, we had this script, uh, got a couple of buddies together on a weekend, and we shot this little uh this test pitch film, and we sent it to Amazon, and they were like, okay, cool, we could do something with this, or let's see what you can do with this, more like it. And I think you can still find it out there. I think it's on my YouTube or my Insta or my Vimeo. uh, if you can't find it, hit me up and I'll send you a link, because technically I don't own the rights, but wink wink, nudge nudge, we'll find a way for people to see the stuff.
And for those listening, where can they find you? I know we're going to have it in the description box, but
Right.
real quick, where can they find you?
You can just like search a different path films on YouTube and Vimeo. Instagram, Mindfire XL.
Great, great.
Yeah.
So now let's fast forward a bit, and you have a new movie out. It's awesome. I just interviewed your buddy Adam Ratcliffe. And
Right. Okay. Good. Good.
all right, let's talk about Saint Michael of the City.
Saint Michael of the City. It's my. I think this is my fourth feature film. And with each film, it gets more involved, it gets bigger, it gets better. And this is honestly one of the best things I've ever worked on. Um, my buddy Kevin Internado, approached me with the script, and he was like, "Jeff, I think you would really make a good fit for this. Uh, give it a read." And he gave it to me, and I finished it in one night, and I was in love. And we went from there. He introduced me to Adam. Me and Adam clicked really well, because not only is he the lead actor, he's the producer of it. And we had some conversations on how to approach the material, what he wanted to do with the character, and it just sort of evolved from there.
It would only be right to say, by the way, quick shout out to our mutual friend Tom Lavecchia for introducing me not only to you but also to Adam Ratcliffe. Thank you, Tom, as always. And check out
Tom, Tom,
Tom's
Tom
amazing.
he's good. He's great people. Like, I'm not even going to say he's good people. He's great people.
And for those of you watching this, please make sure you go over to New Theory Podcast and support Tom Lavecchia. He's got a great podcast, amazing content. Trust me, you'll be happy you did. And also, please check out the interview I did with Adam Ratcliffe. Now, getting back to you, Jeff, tell us a little bit about, without giving out no spoiler alert, no, just give us a little bit about this, maybe some behind the scenes. Tell us kind of like the whole idea behind this new project.
Well, the movie is a real throwback to like late '80s, early '90s indie crime films. Like the stuff James Gray did, Little Odessa, and I, I, State of Grace, those types of movies. The types of movies that your favorite stars now cut their teeth on. And it's gritty, it's grimy, it's I'm not going to say it's cinema verite, but it's realistic. Like, the dialogue is realistic, because a lot of it, the dialogue, I'm not going to say it was improvised, but there was a lot of conversations between me and the actors on uh how they would say things, how their characters would approach things. Um, and so I kind of lost track of what was the question. I even laughed.
Well,
uh,
we were talking more about like how a little bit more about the project without
right, right.
without. And real quick, where can they find now? It's out there on Amazon, correct?
It is on Amazon Video right now. Saint Michael of the City. We have an awesome poster. It's the best poster
Yeah.
I've ever seen. And yeah, go out and rent it, buy it, share it. We even have physical copies. You can buy the physical copies off of Amazon as well, which is a nice thing, because physical media, uh, you have that forever. They'll never take that off of a service and put it on another service that you don't own, right?
Jeff, I think you may agree. We're probably around the same age. And man, I'll tell you what, I really miss walking. I think I was like 8, 9 years old. I got addicted to the corner video store, man. I love those old days of going in there. You seen the big, life size props of like the Terminator or
Yep.
whatever, going there and getting some off a shelf.
I spent my whole entire high school career in A to Z Video Superstore in North Hanover, New Jersey. Every weekend, I would get there right when the doors opened so I could get like the new releases and everything like that. And that's what I would do all weekend. So yeah, I physical media, I love it. But yes, you can stream this on Amazon, and I would appreciate it if you would. The story behind Saint Michael is it is a criminal who had to leave his hometown for reasons you'll find out later. Uh, and he is forced to come back, and he has to reckon with all of the people that he left, ex-girlfriends, ex-bosses, best friends, and everything like that. So um it's it gets deep, it gets interesting. There's some real twists and turns.
And I agree. The cover is beautiful, man. Whoever did your artwork, they did a great job.
Shout out to Robot Eye out of California. uh Best poster designers I've ever worked with.
Robot Eye. Okay. Well, I never met you guys, but I may be calling you for our project in the future.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, maybe I'll get a discount if I bring them more clients on
Give
the
Jeff
next one.
50% off next time. All right. So, and now I'm sure you have some more stuff in the pipeline. Once you're done one thing, you hop onto another. Do
Right.
you have anything lined up in the near future that you could talk about?
I've got a couple of things lined up. As you know, as well as being a full-time filmmaker, I'm also a podcaster. I review movies. So can I shout that out?
Oh,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Film Blerds, hosted by myself and Brandon Norwood, weekly on everywhere you listen to podcasts. Beyond that, I have I am producing a documentary on a filmmaker with autism, which is very exciting and very poignant. I am in the middle of writing a script for an action film that I hope to be going to production within the next year or so. I've got my commercial work. Uh, I directed and wrote a public safety campaign that's going to be released in the next couple of weeks, which I'm really excited about. I was allowed to play and have some fun with that. And beyond that, like whatever comes my way, I'm taking. Because I love money, and money is my love language. I love to work, uh, but also I just love making things. I love being around creators. I love creating. So uh, I have so many things, so many irons and so many fires, uh, that sometimes I even forget what I'm working on. Not that I forget what I'm working on. It's just I I forget to talk about it because it's just like it's just it's something I'm doing now, right? It doesn't seem like a big deal to me, even though it really is.
I find that I do better when I have multiple things going on than just one thing. I think like right now I'm writing a script, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and doing the podcast, obviously, and social media work. And so I've learned that I do better with multiple things going on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, some people work better that way. What do they say? Idle hands are the devil's playthings. Yeah, definitely. If I become bored, I become dangerous. So let's just keep it moving. Like it's no free time in the day.
Keep yourself healthily distracted. I think that's a word.
Yeah.
Jeff, let's tell me how it all started. Now we already talked about your history, obviously, but tell us a little bit more about being in school, the J action thing. Tell us about that.
Okay. So like I said, I would spend all this time on weekends watching movies and TV because my parents worked a lot. And so I would go in to class on on a Monday, and I would just kind of give these very vivid breakdowns of the movies that I watch, and I'd run around the room and I'd do the voices and stuff like that, and I would talk about like how I would change this, that, and the other, and you know, one day, one of my teachers was like, "Jeff, you love movies so much. I can see you making movies when you grow up." And he said, "You would call them you call them Jackson films, Jeff action films." And it sort of just clicked to me, because I never had really thought about that as being a career path. But as soon as he said that to me, he's like, "Yeah, yeah, I would love to make movies for a living." And that's sort of like how I started the journey. So shout out to Matt Kohut. Uh, I think he was a student teacher at the time too. Like he wasn't even like a real teacher. Uh, but yeah, uh, it only takes one little thing to sort of like cause a domino effect to affect the rest of your life.
You never know. Maybe God spoke through him to get to you to give you a little plain little seed in your head.
You know, like the universe has plans for us that we have no idea, and you just got to ride with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. All right. Well, Jeff, I think we're coming close to the end. I mean, I've had a wonderful time speaking with you. I'm very excited about what you're up to. I can't wait to get you back on, hopefully in the near future. Again, let's tell everybody where they can find you.
All right. You can find me on Instagram at MindFireXL. So it's Mind Fire and XL as in extra large. I'm on all the other social media platforms, but I spend more time on Instagram. Uh, you can hit me up. I will respond eventually. I'm not good at responding to comments, but I'm good to responding to messages. So hit me up. Uh, Say Michael the City is on Amazon right now. Please rent, watch, and rate it. Spread the word because we need more smart budget films like this. We need more smaller, interesting, smart films in the world. You know, they all it all can't be Black Adams and Supermans, right? Um, as far as email, you can hit me up at 80 info dot adpfilms as an Alpha David Paul films at gmail.com. Uh, yeah, hit me up if you have any questions. You want some advice. You know, I mentor also filmmakers and stuff like that because the only way to make sure that this art form survives is to pass down the information that you have. So, yeah, and look for a different path films on Vimeo or on YouTube.
It's fantastic. And I couldn't agree more with you. We need more people like yourself and Adam and Kevin. We need to have um, more independent people, more smaller budget, but well done. And we need that to get the same amount of attention as some of these big, commercial successes. Me personally, I really love the independent stuff. That's where my heart is, and I love that now is such a great. I keep saying this, but I love the fact that we know it's. There's never been a time, in my opinion, where there's been so much opportunity. You could make so many maneuvers now online. The technology is amazing.
100%, 100%. And here's the thing that people don't realize: the movies that made people fall in love with movies were usually smaller films. You know, um, you, Mean Streets, um, Thief, movies like that. You know, small in comparison to what we have now, but really affecting, made by passionate people who cared about telling their story. And so there are plenty of people out there. And because the price point is so low now for entry, if you have a cell phone with a camera, you can make a movie. That's amazing, right? Like anyone can make a movie if they really want to make a movie. Whether it's good or not, that's a different story. But at least if you have a story to tell, you have the means to tell it.
And just do it. Just
Yeah,
give it up.
just do it. Yeah.
Okay, we have one more minute left. Jeff, how would you like to, or what would you say to someone who's maybe a young person or even an older person that just kind of scared to get involved, kind of scared, but wants to take that shot at independent filmmaking? You have any advice for those people?
Um, my advice is, if you're going to do it, take it seriously. Take it like like it's a craft, you know. Learn, listen, don't be afraid to fail. I've learned more from my failures than I have my successes. Um, so if you're afraid to get into this because you're afraid to do something bad or fail or whatever like that, then get rid of that idea. All right, because you learn from failure. You get better from failure. Um, you get better by trying and doing. Right. So step in to this world, see if it fits. And I talk about this when I do master classes and stuff like that at schools. Uh, when people talk about filmmaking, they think, okay, you're either a cameraman or a writer or director or an actor. There are so many other jobs that are in the filmmaking sphere that that someone who's like really good at accounting, they could be a line producer, right? If you love to cook, you can do craft services and catering. If you're if you love medicine and helping people, you can be an onset EMT. There are so many jobs that are in this field, that so many positions that help make a movie, that you know anyone who just loves movies can find some sort of career path that puts you in that world.
That's such a great point. Really, I never even thought about that. And that's a great point. You might come from a different background and still be part of a movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic advice, Jeff.
Definitely. Well, thank you. Thank you.
All right. And again, one last thing to all you people out there from me. Doesn't matter how young, how old you think you are, just do it. Just get out there and do it. Whether it's acting, whether whatever, just do it. That's I tell everybody the same thing, and you'll be happy you did.
Right. Like, the only way to know is to try.
Exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm Vinny from South Philly. Our guest has become the wonderful Jeff Stewart. Make sure you go out there and watch St. Michael of the City on Amazon right this minute. As soon as you get off this, go watch that. And make sure you review it. Go check out Jeff. Make sure you're following him, supporting him, and everything he does from here on. And Jeff, I can't say anything else, but thank you so much. It's been a great interview.
Vinny, it's been a pleasure. Anytime you want me on, I'm here.
Hey, likewise. Thank you. And we'll catch up with you real soon. Good luck.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Take care.